When it comes to catapult takeoffs, I guess most people just climb out however they like after the shot. That's why in the previous video I showed everyone the carrier aircraft catapult launch and the carrier's K-1 daytime departure procedure. In this video, we're going to take on a more complex environment and share how carrier aircraft actually perform a catapult launch and departure at night in real life. This process is known as the K-3 departure procedure. Without further ado, let's get started. To save time in the video, I've already started the jet. One difference between the carrier and land, though, is that the carrier has strict lighting restrictions. Not only during the day, but even at night, carrier aircraft are not allowed to turn on any external lights, because the external lights are bright and flashing and would seriously interfere with the deck crew's visual judgment. So the first thing we do is check that our aircraft has no external lights on. Next, we can do some pre-catapult instrument setups. The settings for a night catapult launch are basically the same as for a daytime one. We first need to check the aircraft weight, because different weights require different amounts of trim. Here it shows our aircraft weighs 45,000 pounds. So according to the manual, we trim the aircraft to 17 degrees. Then we continue by entering the carrier's TACAN. TACAN is the carrier's navigation station. It lets our aircraft more accurately obtain range and bearing to the carrier. After entering the carrier's TACAN, we just select to activate it. For a K-3 departure, the carrier aircraft usually also needs to set a departure heading in advance. I'll explain what the departure heading is a bit later. For now, we'll just preset 310. A line will then appear on the screen. This is our departure radial. Once everything is ready, we can request to taxi out. We salute the yellow shirt director in front of the aircraft, release the parking brake, and slowly add power to taxi out. While taxiing, we can also take a look at the overall K-3 departure flow. This is the K-3 departure procedure diagram. The dashed line in the diagram is the flight path the carrier aircraft follows after the catapult shot. The difference between a night catapult departure and a daytime one is that after takeoff, we don't need to fly a clear of terrain turn. Instead, we climb straight ahead after the shot, maintaining 300 knots the entire time. When the aircraft has flown straight to 5 nautical miles from the carrier, we confirm altitude is above 1,500 feet. At 7 nautical miles from the carrier, the aircraft turns left or right to join the 10 nautical mile DME arc centered on the carrier. That's the red circle in the diagram. The jet flies along this red circle until it reaches the preset departure radial. Then it can leave the DME arc and request departure. That's the general flight path, but we'll cover the specific operating details as we fly. Next, our aircraft has taxied up to the catapult and is ready to be hooked up. I'll skip this part since I already covered the specific duties of every deck director in detail in a previous video. For the following footage, to improve the viewing experience, I've activated full screen night vision so everyone can see more of the details of a night carrier departure. Of course, in an actual catapult launch, the pilot does not wear night vision goggles. Once our aircraft is connected to the catapult and ready, we can see the catapult officer give us the add power signal. We go to full afterburner and perform left, right, and fore aft flight control surface checks. After confirming everything is ready, we salute the catapult officer, then turn on the aircraft's external lights and prepare for the catapult launch. After the jet is shot off the catapult, we raise the gear and flaps, establish a positive rate of climb, and at the same time make a radio call with our call sign. For example, Hornet Airborne. We then hold a 10-degree pitch attitude, which means placing the flight path marker on the 10-degree pitch ladder. The K-3 speed requirement is 300 knots the entire time, so we can use the F/A/18 auto throttle to help maintain airspeed. When the aircraft reaches 2,500 feet, we need to make another radio call, Hornet passing 2.5. After that, we simply maintain this condition all the way. In a K-3 night departure, if multiple fighters need to launch, the catapult interval between aircraft is 30 seconds. In the lower right corner of the HUD, there is a number. This is our distance from the carrier in nautical miles. We're about to reach the 5 nautical mile point from the carrier. Confirm altitude is not below 1,500 feet, then continue straight ahead in this condition. When our aircraft reaches 7 nautical miles from the carrier, we start a left bank turn to join the 10 nautical mile DME arc centered on the carrier. At the same time, we make a radio call, Hornet Arc. While establishing the DME arc, there's a very practical tip. During the turn, you can bank 30 to 40 degrees and watch two key pieces of information on the HSI page. First, the distance to the carrier. Second, the little triangle that represents the carrier's position. The direction of that little triangle is the direction the carrier currently lies relative to us. What we need to do is control the bank angle so that, just as the aircraft reaches 10 nautical miles from the carrier, the little triangle is exactly on the left or right side of the aircraft. That way the aircraft will fly a standard arc centered on the carrier. Right now the instruments show we are exactly 10 nautical miles from the carrier, so we just hold this bank angle and fly steadily. You can see we've already climbed above the cloud layer and visibility is getting better and better. Here we'll assume our departure altitude is 12,000 feet. So when the aircraft climbs to 12,000 feet, we can level off, but we still continue flying the arc. In essence, this process is like the carrier aircraft orbiting the carrier. When the aircraft, while flying the arc, is still 3 nautical miles from the departure radial, we start a right bank, again holding about 30 degrees of bank for the right turn. This is the phase where the aircraft transitions from orbiting the carrier to departing. The right turn cuts us onto the departure radial. As the aircraft gradually turns, we slowly correct the heading until we are finally aligned with our pre-planned departure heading of 310. At the same time, we make another radio call, Hornet established outbound. Outbound here means the carrier's navigation station is behind the aircraft, i.e., at the 6 o'clock position. At this point, our aircraft has established the departure heading and is maintaining the correct geometric relationship with the carrier. After completing the above steps, the carrier aircraft can depart. That is the basic procedure for a carrier aircraft night catapult launch through departure. I believe everyone now has a better basic understanding of carrier aircraft launches and departures from the carrier, whether in daytime or at night. That's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.